While her boyfriend rained bullets and death on Las Vegas concert-goers, Marilou Danley was out of the country, enjoying Japan or her native Philippines with some gal pals, authorities now say. Danley, who lived with the killer Stephen Paddock, was initially dubbed by authorities as an associate of the Las Vegas shooter, partly because her ID had reportedly been used by Paddock to secure the 32nd floor room at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, from which he killed 59 people and injured more than 500 in the worst mass murder in decades. Law enforcement contacted Paddock's friends and family, and Danley, 62, was cleared of any involvement in the shooting, but her exact whereabouts remained unclear. An Australian daily, the Courier Mail, reported that she left for the Philippines 2 weeks ago. Friends contacted by the paper corroborated statements from Australia's foreign ministry that said Danley, once a 20-year resident of Australia who has lived in Nevada since 2003, was in the Philippines. Keep up with this story and more by subscribing. No related. Las Vegas gun laws: open carry, concealed weapons, machine guns all legal in Nevada. Marilou Danley remains a person of interest in the investigation into the shooting, and county police have said they will want to speak to her once she has returned to the United States. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police U.S. authorities have said they believe Danley is in Japan, Tokyo specifically, Clark County Sheriff Joseph Lombardo said Monday, according to the Associated Press. But who is Marilou Danley? According to her LinkedIn profile, the vivacious Danley had worked as a high-limit hostess at the Atlantis Casino Resort, although a spokeswoman for the hotel said she had not worked there for several years. During a 2015 divorce, Danley listed a downtown Reno address owned by Stephen Paddock as her home. She started living at the address in 2013. Later the couple lived in Reno's Somerset neighborhood. One neighbor told the Reno Gazette-Journal that the couple kept themselves to themselves. Other individuals who knew Danley from her first marriage expressed their surprise that she had become involved with Paddock. She had nothing to do with this psycho, one man who asked not to be identified said. The poor lady, she is in the Philippines visiting family. One friend, Betty Dixon, who attended dance and exercise classes with Danley, described her as a wonderful woman. She is so warm, so outgoing, Dixon said. She was so sweet. A current neighbor of Danley and Paddock's in Mesquite, Nevada, told Newsweek that Paddock kept a large safe in his garage, avoided saying hello to them, and often left for 6 months at a time with Danley. He never put his head up, never said hello, said the neighbor, Darlene McKay. And I thought, how could Marilou be married to somebody like that? Harold Alred, another Reno neighbor, said the couple spent a lot of time away from home. Danley spent a lot of time in LA with her daughter. Paddock and Danley moved around constantly, with properties in Arkansas, Nevada, California, and Texas, public records show. The Mesquite home appears to be their monstrous and permanent address. Danley remains a person of interest in the investigation into the shooting, and county police have said they will want to speak to her once she has returned to the United States. Authorities are yet to identify a motive for the shooting at the Route 91 Harvester Festival. The Islamic State militant group has claimed Paddock was a Muslim convert who had responded to its calls for attacks. Authorities do not believe there is connection between the atrocity and international terrorism. Officials believe Paddock, who killed himself after carrying out the shooting, acted alone while his girlfriend was overseas.